Hello everyone, Jeremy Senpai here, and well, you guys clicked on the video, so you probably know what this is. Everybody is talking about it. It's been about 2 weeks now since Akira Toriyama. It's been a little over 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since we've known about it. It's been a little over 2 weeks since Akira Toriyama died at the age of 68, a relatively young age, all things considered. And well, lots of people have been talking about it and sharing their own ideas and their own how they feel about it, like over on the Amagi and Jack's Blade and other channels. So this is a bit of an informal video. This is just me kind of sharing my own feelings, my own thoughts. If that's what you want to sign up for, then go ahead. This is kind of a casual video, casual podcast rant thing. So, anyway. Also, I just want to point out that when I heard the news, my first thoughts were to watch the Dragon Ball series in order. I managed to get through all of the first series, and I'm currently watching Dragon Ball Z in order. The episode I'm on right now is actually the introduction of Cell. I'm literally seeing Piccolo and Cell meeting for the first time, and my cat Suki, I'm convinced I turned her into an otaku cat, because she watches it with me like every night. And I'm pretty sure that by the time this video is released on Friday, the 22nd, Friday the 22nd of March, I'll probably be in the Boo saga at least. But anyway, that's just how I felt. I've never seen Dragon Ball in order, in sequence before, not in a long marathon-esque thing, so this is my first go at that. I've done this for One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, Sailor Moon, etc., etc. Anyway, enough with my little rant. There will never be another one like Akira Toriyama. It almost feels like we've lost anime's equivalent of Stan Lee. It really has. And I was just so curious about him. No, we weren't his friend. We didn't know him personally or anything, but he creates something amazing. He didn't create a manga or a TV show. He created a legacy. And, well, honestly, if it wasn't for the craze that Dragon Ball brought out, I can guarantee you that none other anime, except maybe Pokemon, would be nearly as popular. The anime craze would not be as popular as it is now, because Dragon Ball was no different than shows like Pokemon and Sailor Moon. Even though you've never seen these shows before, even if you haven't seen these shows before, you know Pikachu, you know Sailor Moon, you know Goku. You know them on sight, and very interestingly, all three of these shows, among others, like Gundam, Fruits Basket, Yu Hakusho, etc., etc., a lot of them were what started this. A lot of them were what started Japan's Japanese influence on culture and American society. The love of anime, the love of something new and exciting. Like I said, you know these characters. Even if you never saw the show, you've seen these characters on sight before. And that's what led to others like One Piece and Naruto, Fairy Tail, Bleach, yada yada yada. And I think it says a whole lot more. The fact that Dragon Ball has become so popular. I mean, we have Goku in Super Saiyan Blue in the Macy's Day Parade alongside Luffy of last year, and I remember seeing Pikachu and Eevee riding in a sled. So it only goes to show just how popular anime has become, the fact that we have Macy's parade floats. I mean, everywhere you go, you can see the merch, not just in stores, but also big name stores like Target and Walmart. Like, That shows how the anime craze has become, and it is amazing. And Akira Toriyama, he's best known for Dragon Ball, but he really brought his influence to video games too, specifically Dragon Quest and the Chrono Trigger. Don't know why it took me a second there. And very interestingly, this was his introduction. This was his introduction to the RPG. He didn't know what that term was before then. I never got a chance to play Chrono Trigger. I tried, so if anyone from Nintendo is listening, there's an idea. Give us a port. Give us a port to the Switch or Switch 2 or whatever comes next. Or you know what, just give us a full remake. I promise you, you will make bank on that. But Dragon Quest is probably my favorite RPG, aside from maybe Pokemon and Kingdom Hearts. I can just grind and play through that game. Two of my very favorite ones, there's the Echoes of a Forgotten Age, I think is the name of it, and Starry Sky. If anyone knows the two titles, then feel free to tell me down below. Like I said, this is just casual, this is just me ranting. But we will owe a lot to Akira Toriyama. It's not just the fact that Dragon Ball brought anime to America, or at the very least one of the main contributors, but also the influence that it had. I mean, Dragon Ball has been parodied to death. I mean, you know the term going Super Saiyan, or you know the Kamehameha wave on site. I mean, I still remember a lot of the ones that it parodied. Codename Kids Next Door had a parody where number 4 now looked like Goku, and the Delightful Children looked like Frieza. It resembled the bow on Namek. And very recently, in recent cartoons, like The Amazing World of Gumball, and The Owl House, and Amphibia. Heck, it's not just a takeaway joke, because in Amphibia, we have our hero characters taking on Blue, powering up and flying through punching out bad guys with super strength, like they did go Super Saiyan. That's what happened to Anne when she taps into her calamity powers. And very interestingly, even My Little Pony, from what I've read online, My Little Pony of all things, because there's a scene where main character Twilight is battling against this big bad guy named Tirek, and she's flying through the air, firing energy blasts, and it just reminded me of Dragon Ball Z. It's hard not to. You're literally flying through the air, punching your big bad guy with super strength, and unleashing some sort of spiritual energy blast. It is hard to argue that. Anyway, okay, I think I've kind of gone over the rant enough. I'm just gonna go over at this point what the Dragon Ball series kind of means for me. I mean, I still love the series even to this day. It's specifically probably Dragon Ball, the original series. I've rewatched that series enough times. I mean, it was cool. It was awesome. I mean, I had this orange tank top and t-shirt I would wear. I had a bow staff that I painted red because I wanted it to look like the power pole. And very clumsily, I accidentally used it to knock over some glasses that was on top of a cabinet. That was a complete accident. I still remember it because it landed right behind me. That was a complete accident on my part. Anyway, it is amazing. It really is. And what's truly great about Akira Toriyama is that he even took a lot of inspiration from our films, our media here in the United States. He credited Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. He actually took a lot of inspiration from Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee movies. A lot of my favorites, because my dad introduced me to Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee, specifically Enter the Dragon, Police Story, and The Drunken Master. And if you notice in Dragon Ball, there's even one or two characters that actually resemble Bruce Lee. I don't know if there's any that resemble Jackie Chan. If there is, then please feel free to tell us. Let's see. That show, along with others, really inspired me. Inspired me to become a martial artist in my own right. And when I was in my late teens, almost done with high school, I went back into it. And I stayed there for like 6, 7 years. I went from white belt to black belt. I got my second Dan Black, and I'm currently at my third Dan Black in Taekwondo. And after some health problems in the recent years, I've gone back into martial arts. Specifically, I'm taking Muay Thai, and I'm probably gonna branch out and learn others at some point. But Akira Toriyama, he even learned from other movies, like The Terminator and Alien and Star Wars, of course. Now, you guys some of you may know what I'm talking about, others may not so much. But think about it. Terminator and the Android saga to Cell Saga. We literally have a survivor from a dystopian world where robots or powerful machines have taken over. So this survivor comes back from the future to warn the heroes of what's coming. Sound familiar? Just like Kyle Reese with John Connor, or Trunks did with Goku. Sounds similar. And also, very interestingly, when it comes to Frieza, specifically Frieza's second form, it does resemble the Xenomorph from Ridley Scott's Alien. So, it does resemble that a lot. So, Akira Toriyama, from what I've read about him and from what I've learned about him, he was described as being a pretty withdrawn and pretty relaxed person. He never really liked going out. He never really liked interacting with the media or the news much, despite the fact that he was such a household name. He actually preferred to keep to himself and live a pretty private life. But despite it all, he was known to be humble. He was known to be a bit clumsy and awkward. Akira Toriyama was basically a dork like us guys. I mean, the very fact that he loved our stuff that much really says it. Loved our movies and our media here in the United States. Let's see. What else? Yeah. Oh, Dr. Slump. I almost forgot, sorry. I never really had the chance to really read the Dr. Slump manga, but I was lucky enough to find the first volume, and I'm very, very interested. I definitely see a lot of Toriyama's early wit and humor when it comes to all of it. I know about Arale. I played video games that have Arale in it, like it's J-Stars, or one or two of the Dragon Ball games. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. But Dragon Ball is such an amazing series, and very interestingly, when it came to the live-action movie, Dragon Ball Evolution, it's actually pretty sad because from what I've read, a lot of the actors and actresses that were in that movie were huge Dragon Ball fans, but at the same time, they're actors. They're paid to go from point A to point B and to read from the script. So it is really sad, the fact that they couldn't add any opinions, because it was a horrible movie, and some of them were actually very upset the way it went. But at the same time, they're actors. It's their job to do what they're told. But this did kind of bring something positive, because allegedly this did reignite Akira Toriyama's creative juices, and a few years later we would have Battle of the Gods, we would have Resurrection F, and of course Dragon Ball Super, which I definitely plan on watching from the start after I'm done with GT. Yes, I know GT is anime only, and a lot of people don't really consider it the definitive ending, But you know what? I like GT, okay? It's not great. It's probably bottom of the list for me, but it's tolerable. I like it. I can be entertained by it, okay? Not great, but passable, in my opinion, alright? Okay. And I actually remember that I used to make jokes about Akira Toriyama saying that he was milking the franchise a bit with Super and everything, but in hindsight, I kind of now realize that he partially did do it because he really enjoyed the story and wanted to add more to it. And I actually found out something about this rather recently, specifically thanks to the Amagi's tribute video. But I found out that Akira Toriyama did want to step away from Dragon Ball, but at the same time he wanted it to keep going. So, which is why he appointed a successor. I don't remember his name, but he was somebody that actually wrote a doujinshi about Dragon Ball. And he was actually a major player in Super and Resurrection F, and probably other projects later down the road. I think the Broly movie too, not the original one, but the one that came out a few years ago. Anyway, Akira Toriyama really meant the world to a lot of us. He created a worldwide phenomenon that I can guarantee you, if it wasn't for Dragon Ball, alongside other shows like Pokemon, Sailor Moon, Gundam, no way anime would nearly be as popular as it is now. From being the stereotypical nerds and geek thing, to everybody and their grandmother, from passionate viewers to casual watchers. And thanks to anime being available on stream like Netflix and Hulu, Max, not Paramount Plus though, but Prime, and very interestingly Disney Plus, thanks to their partnership with Hulu. Everybody can watch anime now, and they can find something new that they love for it. If they don't like Dragon Ball or Pokemon, that's fine. But we all have Akira Toriyama to thank for this. The fact that a bunch of anime dorks like us can find a family, that we can find something that unites all of us. It really is amazing how influential this was, how something so bonehead simple, when you really think about it, can be a worldwide phenomenon that people the world over can recognize. And it is very tragic when you think about it, because it hasn't even been a year and a half yet since Kazuki Takahashi died in an accident, a diving accident, might I add. So, I really don't want to see this as a bad omen for what's to come. It really does feel like the end of eras, but Dragon Ball's legacy will live on. This is a show that will live on well past us, well past the point when all of us are dead and buried. Of course, by that point, the whole series will probably be rebooted or two. There's probably going to be dozens, if not 100 movies, and probably even another series or two. Honestly, I wouldn't mind a series that focuses on Trunks and his adventures. Yes, I know Super and History of Trunks, but come on, Trunks is a cool character. I also wouldn't mind a spin-off series featuring Goten and Trunks. But that's just me, you know? Anyway, I think I've kind of rambled enough. So, I'm gonna end on this. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. Thank you so much, Sensei, for everything you've done. You've earned your retirement. We, all of us, the world over, we will keep Dragon Ball alive in our mind, body, and soul. And all of us are your students. We promise to eat well, train well, and sleep well. After all, that's the turtle way. Am I right, everyone? Alright. So, hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff. This is Jeremy Senpai signing off, and I hope that you enjoyed me talking about Akira Toriyama. He may be gone, but We'll make sure he's never forgotten. After all, a man only dies when he's forgotten.